still don't see any chat, so I'm sorry, folks, if I haven't acknowledged you. My phone's not giving me any chat right now. Babe, if you could turn on members only chat, that would be awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dad's Workshop. Good morning, if you're on the East Coast. Good morning, Carrie, valued member. Excellent, Carrie said, how are you today? I am excellent, Carrie. Thank you so much. Thankful and grateful for a beautiful new day. And I'm going to tell you, it was a beautiful morning. Fog over the horizon. And I put a picture, post up. Those aren't AI, you know, I actually take those pictures. Just making sure my chisels are sharp enough to handle this sapwoody cherry that I'm working with. Yeah, I did see it actually, Carrie. I was on the road. It was a beautiful full moon in the sky, almost like a harvest moon out there. Huge, like a dinner plate moon. I tried to I was on the road, so I texted Miss Heather, let her know the moon was dinner plate-ish out there. Beautiful. Yep. Amazing. I was kind of waiting for that full moon. I could feel it coming. You know, people change before the full moon. Everything gets a little erratic. I mean, just my belief in the belief of humans for the last 100,000 years. You know, is my connection bad or something? What's going on here? Okay, just checking. That's bad there. Good. I'm glad you can hear me, Carrie. Glad we got you up early this morning. We love to have you in here. Felt bad we missed you yesterday. My boy Tom was excellent. Thank you so much for asking. We went to the amusement park or whatever, and all three, well, not all three of us, there's four of us, me and my three sons, but one will not ride this one ride. So we all had to go on this one without him. One of those big drops, it's just a drop. You get up to the top and you regret it immediately. My next day, my son says, "Dad, you remember the drop zone?" This reminds you that they're making memories. As Heather's told me before, lifetime memories. It's really important. Let me do the bottoms of all these. I had some issues yesterday with my wood blowing out, so I don't want to have any factor of non-sharpness. I've been having to put mineral spirits on my stone to get the oils and stuff out of there so I can polish. It works, but I have to use a lot of mineral spirits, which is expensive stuff. So all right, let's drop these. Carrie says yes, and you will be really surprised when they grow up and tell you about a moment that was special to them, and you will be scratching your head not remembering it. Hopefully, that won't happen. Hopefully, I will remember it. I guess the ear flies are after me now, the ones that like to just fly into my ears and into my eyes. We got a little toothpaste on this stropping leather here. See, just a little bit. Honestly, baking soda probably works for this too. Carrie said, meaning what you think is important, what I think is important, they don't. Yeah, it's all the different, you never know. And that's nice and short. I love that. Carrie said there's 79 days to Christmas. She's got the Santa's countdown clock on. I saw my first Christmas ad yesterday, Carrie. I love Christmas. I'm very much a Christmas guy. You see the sled behind me when I'm backed up. Very much a Christmas person. Watched they had an Etsy Christmas ad, Christmas-ish ad on yesterday. Been seeing a couple, you know. Yeah, it's not far. This is the only one I find questionable right here. We decorate the sled at Christmas time. Ooh, Heather, I just cut myself pretty good. Can you grab me a Band-Aid from in there? That one's gonna bleed a lot. Just one little miss. It's like from here to here is the problem. It's down my thumb. So I'm gonna get blood on my work. I can't do that. Got to bring out the medics. Medic coming, I'm sure. She may have been in the shower. I might have interrupted her in the shower, though. Sometimes she jumps in the shower when I first get on live. Looks like it's not bleeding that much. It's pretty sharp, so it's a clean cut. I know. That's usually how it is with these things. You don't have to nick yourself at all. I've dropped a framing chisel on my bare foot before too. And that one there went in pretty good. I actually expected more because of how hard it hit.
Yeah. I'll give you another one. Just so you got coverage so you're done.
Thanks. Miss Heather to the rescue.
But don't get hurt, so I'm gonna take a shower.
What? Okay, you are gonna take us out. Yeah, I won't. I'm done stropping, so hopefully that part is a little dangerous. Is over now. Not ready. Let's get these workpieces up here. All right, so we got a dovetail box, single dovetail. This is gonna go in this, right? What I noticed is that this board is cupped, right? Because of this sapwood, and I've told people this before. When you have too much sapwood on a board, I didn't get to personally select these. That'll change the osmotic properties of the wood. So in this case, this board cupped, and I didn't notice it until this morning. But we should be able to work around it. I'm gonna put it in the vise this way for now. Start with it like that. Yesterday on these tail sections, I blew out both times. because I was not respecting the stop cut. Like I didn't do enough of one. I'm gonna put it down and there, get a little more force on it. All right, let's go to the chat. Woodshed by Dan says, stopping in to say hi before a job interview. Sorry I've been on MIA, but I focused on getting a job. Hopefully I can get back on track. See y'all later. Hey, welcome, Woodshed by Dan. I was a little worried about when you said your pension tanked the other day, how that would have happened in one day, but you know, I really wish the best for you, and I hope that this works itself out. I hope you get that job. Knock it out of the park, dude. Thank you, Kara. Kara said it is looking great. Well, let's see. what kind of adjustments we have to make here, because this has to fit in, right? So it looks like this side needs to come down a little bit. Single dovetail is going to be the easiest dovetail project you can do. Obviously, once you add another one in there, even less of a tolerance for mistakes as far as the shapes and the math and the geometry are concerned. It's still kind of hard even doing one, to be honest. I did try to teach it to some kids one year, and I got one young girl to understand it and successfully do it. Everyone else kind of really struggled with it. You want a tight fit, not too tight. Looks like we're gonna have to trim the pin on that, because that horse is, the tail is just right. It's probably gonna be, and I'm looking at the pin, you can see there's still lines showing here. So take that tail, looks pretty good there. Switch that out, do the other side. Maybe give you all a little bit of a better angle. Norm, welcome. Old Path, welcome. Norm said, good morning, all you fine people from Calvin land. Good morning, Norm. If everybody could just double tap that screen, trust me, I forget sometimes too. It's very easy to forget. Double tap that screen, like this video. It helps support the channel in that way. Also, if you're in the gallery, this is, I believe, a members only chat. And if you want to become a member, I think all you got to do is hit that little dollar bill and join the family and get bothered by me all the time, because that's all I do is stuff for my members. That's what we try to do here at Dad's Workshop. All my joiners, you know. Dan may have rolled out. Norm said hi to Dan. Dan had a job interview, Norm, so he probably is out. Real careful today, because yesterday I blew out a bunch of material. I made more cuts laterally so that I would have even less stress on the grain going toward the other joint. Let me tilt this forward. See, I'm flipping it back and forth to make sure I don't blow anything out. Glad to have all my members in here today. Old Path, Norm. Not all my members, but a number of them. Carrie. Carrie was the first in class today. Carrie, Norm, Old Path, Dan. Thank you all for being here and welcome. Flip it again. Please tell me that didn't just blow out the other side. Please tell me. Thank goodness. Woodworking as a craft. I've said this so many times on here. Nothing against machines and power tools because I use them too. But you learn the craft of woodworking by using hand tools because the idea is to use the weakness of the wood to break it down and the strength of it to build. So it's about using those two forces the right way. Getting there now. Carrie said, at Norm, it was fun watching your shorts. Hey, everybody subscribe to Norm Hughes' channel. Valued member of Dad's Workshop. We were talking about Wes's live yesterday. Yeah, he did have over 1K. Sent him a text. Congratulations, man. Good dude. Deserves it. All right, let's take this tail piece here, this pin piece here, and work this a little bit. If Wes is in the chat, congratulations, Wes, on them crazy numbers yesterday, man. Amazing. Over 1K. When I popped in, I think it was 1.8K. So exponential growth. It's pretty amazing. Shout out to Wes Does It as a channel, too. Great channel. Should go check him out. Maybe I should take a second and shout out Carnage Bladesmith and Lions Fish Shop, places where Wes likes to hang out. His two favorite channels there. Shout out Carnage. Shout out Lions. Family of channels there. That one's looking real nice, man. I love being able to take my time with this. Whittle those edges down. I think I feel like I'm maybe missing some chat here. I have no idea. Of course, it is members only chat. That's how we roll. Mike is making stuff. Member, welcome. Mike is making stuff. Valued member. Valued member. That's still looking real tight right there. Real tight. Significant material has to come out of that. I think it should come off the pin probably. So let's take it from the pin. Oh, well, welcome to Wes Does It. Wes Does It in the house. Man of the hour. Yeah, last night we were just talking about your Live stream was crushing it. Amazing. But not, you know, he worked hard for that, man. I think I had a short to that effect. Oh, the band-aid's falling off, so let's take this thing off because I don't think it's bleeding anymore. I don't know why there's so much material right now, but it's like a 32nd of an inch or more I gotta take off here. By the way, this box is for Wes because Wes answered the question I asked the other day about this tree I found in the woods. So that was my members giveaway, and I'll be doing more. I'll find a million reasons to do members giveaways. About a marker tree that I found in the woods is in a property that I frequently go to. There's a couple marker trees out there. That's the most prominent one. So check out that post if you're a member. That was a members only post. Wes said he's listening in traffic. Appreciate that. Mike said, welcome to all. Appreciate that as well. Thank you to everybody for being here. This is a members only chat, though. If you want to be part of this group, hit that little $ down there in the corner and become a member. I did not raise my price. Apparently, YouTube did. I would not raise my membership price. I think the people who started out at the original member price are grandfathered, so they don't change theirs unless they end their membership. But they changed my membership price to $4.99. I wish there was something I could do about that. There is not. They do not allow me to take it back down. So it is $4.99. But this is a maker's and a crafter's roundtable here. You have combined hundreds of years worth of knowledge. If you combine all of our knowledge of tools and crafting and things like that, and then it's a fun place to be. We have fun with each other. We promote each other. That's what it is. So, you know, at the end of the day, I really love the new folks. I'm glad to see new folks, but my members are what I rely on. I want to say thank you to those folks last week. I believe it was Norm and Carrie. Pilato made a donation too last week, allowed Heather and I to buy a gift for my son. This is really actually what we do for a living. So we depend on that. And so when we got that gift, it meant a lot to us. And we were able to get Julian some good stuff. So thank you for that. I believe that was Pilato and Carrie who made that donation. So I want to say thank you to them. Pilato's probably asleep, I imagine. So the goal here is to get these dovetails to fit, but this is oh, that's not bad. That's not far. Let me clean up the tail a little bit. I still see pencil lines on this side, so I could probably do better there. Unfortunately, my vise is actually giving out, or there's a pin issue with it. I got to look at it. This pin right here slides. I'm so happy to be here. So grateful to be here. So grateful to have you in this room and be able to do this today for another day, you know. I started last year on faith and a little bit of savings, and it struggled at first. Started to pick up. Now it's in the right direction, but I'm at the end of that savings, and so here we are in a spot where it's make it sink or swim for me and Heather. So that's not overblowing the situation. That's not exaggerating. That's the situation we're in. So every donation, every membership, it's like life and death, literally. We are happy. We are happy that we're here. But you have to definitely think of this situation as I'm the hibachi guy, but I'm not able to serve you food, right? I'm the hibachi guy doing all these little tricks for tips because that's what we work on here. My live streams make us about 2 cents. So you go on live stream, they pay you a cent per 1,000 views. Well, let's say 20 cents. So if I have a really good live stream, I'll make 20 cents off of it. So we work for tips, guys. Ad revenue at this stage. I think since I started being monetized, and I'll be honest with you, I don't mind running numbers past y'all. Since I started being monetized 3 months ago, I've made $12.67 in ad money. $12.67. You follow your dreams, you uncompromisingly. I could have kept being a teacher and scraped by and hated myself for it. But I followed my dream here, and it's either going to work or it's not. You know, and the table's set for it to be very difficult, I'll tell you that. Maybe it used to be set different. I want to get these corners cleaned up. I don't want it loose, but it is close. I think it's just this top little lip right here. Or not. Is the vise? It is the vise on the side of your workbench that looks like two pieces of wood where you plant. Yes, that's a woodworking vise. Now this is not a woodworking vise. This is like a metalworking vise. That is correct. You can buy the hardware to install. That is correct. Usually there's an end. You have one vise. Well, French benches don't have any. If you see I have holes in the bench, that's what a French woodworking bench would have. And then they would have what they call hold fasts, which are little hooks that go in. That's kind of how I always operated. But yeah, you get a vise. I don't have the money for a woodworking vise. If I did, I probably would get one here. That would have been something I would have had to get a year ago. And Chardonnay donated this vise to the program. Everything that you see, basically, besides the chisels, you know, is like mostly donated materials. Yeah, it was one of the first big donations we got was this vise. And yes, woodworking vise is attached to the end and the long side of your woodworking bench. Usually, like professional woodworkers and you know, that use hand tools will have one on the end and one on the long side. I think Pilato's got a pretty nice one. So I do believe that will break if I force that in, but you see it's close now. This one, right? You can still see pencil lines on that. I could probably work that pen a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, you can order them. They'll come with the hardware, and then you got to find 2 pieces of wood and something to go through the handle, like a dowel to go through your handle. That's usually how it works. Like they're like 3/4 inch dowel hole for a dowel, and that's what you would spin. Like that would be this piece right here. Go on the end of your bench. This would be, they would come with just this piece, and you'd have to put a dowel through it, right? Fancy, fancy, fancy. Wes does it, said, "Hey Carrie, hey Miss Heather, have to wait for traffic to slow. Everybody go check Wes Does It's channel out. Got over 10K subscribers. He was over 1.8K when I popped in the room yesterday. So channel exploding. All the channels of all my folks. That's not a bad fit right there. You see, we got a good 90-degree angle. I mean, it's loose, but look, it's sitting at angle here, right? Now, if this was a bigger, more important joint, that would probably be a little too loose, but this actually is not bad. Look, it doesn't come out, but it goes in, right? Not bad there. Now, this is for Wes. You're going to have this right here is a soap holder. You're going to have your bar of soap. You can sit it right on top of this. Now, I might actually cut this into 2 pieces and make it 2 so it'll fit in the box, because I think the box doesn't accommodate it quite enough. what this will do is let the soap, like I have noticed that soap wants to either slide off the holder, gunk up the edge of the shower, and then like melt on the shower. So if you have one of these, it should be able to dry off. I'll round off these edges a little bit. You sit it right in your bathtub or on your sink if you do bar soap on your sink. I'll send you some craft soap too as well. I'm going to make one or more of these boxes with these soap holders to send out to members just as a giveaway item. Because I know you could either, if you don't do craft soap, you could probably re-gift it to someone and they will love it as well. But we, Heather and I were looking at soap holder designs, and this was the one that caught our eye yesterday. So we went ahead and just replicated that. Happy to do this. Happy to be here. Thankful to be here. So shout out to Wes for being the member that had the answer correct on the post I made the other day. There will be more of those posts and shout outs, and I love to I want to just shower my members with appreciation. That's what I'm here to do. It's all about my members. I love new folks. Thank you for being here, new folks. Definitely subscribe. But the new YouTube is about community, so we want to build a community here. That's what YouTube's about now. 1 million subscribers and, you know, a gajillion likes are nice. Oh yeah, man, you're gonna get a box. This cherry box is for you. I told you. I don't think you caught it because you were really busy that morning. This little cherry box. I'm gonna send a little soap holder for your bathtub. I might cut this in 2 parts though, Wes. And then you'll have 2. I gotta check it with the soap though first. I'll re-glue it up if it doesn't work like that, or make another one. Yeah, cherry box, little soap holder, and then a couple bars of craft soap. That's the giveaway. Yep. I might make a kind of, I don't want to call it flimsy, but a lighter weight box top for this. Maybe with 2 pieces of thin stock that you can kind of slide over the top. I don't think it's important to have a heavy duty top on this box. You could use it for anything. Trinkets, or you could even keep it in your bathroom and use it for toothbrushes or combs or things like that. But it'll be a lightweight little box. Oh yeah, the soap is good, man. And I'll send you a kind of a variety, like a couple different bars, so you can kind of get what you know, the bar that you know, which bar you like the most. Yeah, our craft soap, we only use the most expensive scented oils, and we also use essential oils. Essential oils don't have the same amount of scent volume like scent throw as scent oils do. So we use the best, most ethical, and most expensive scent oils. So all of our soap is made with the best coconut oil, olive oil, beeswax. I make it myself. So I can assure you that it's ethical and all of that. I'm a little bit afraid of blowout here. Another way to do these too is to have another piece of wood under it. So when I didn't have a decent vise, I would clamp it down to the bench with another piece of wood under it, a piece of scrap wood, so that you don't damage. I put sea salt into it, Carrie. So it's got sea salt. I also use sugar and soap. Yeah. No blood diamond scents. Nah, no blood diamond scents, man. No baby whale scents. No baby seal scents. No seal oil used. No what you call it? Although the bees, you might not want to use it because the bees wax was stolen from them unethically. You know, they worked a bee lifetime to make that. I don't know if you've seen the movie. Um, I believe I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Bee. Anyway, yeah, no unethical. I mean, the bees were not harmed, but their whole life's work was stolen from them. So just to make y'all a nice bar of soap. Hey, Pelado, the bee movie that was called. Yeah, Hunex. All of these guys worked their whole lives for Hunex. You got a lot of wiggle right here. I think I got a critical repair I need to do to this bench. Kitten tears. That's right. I use rainwater, so I don't even use tap water. You got that part of it. Rainwater. The soap's not made with anything that has chlorine or fluorine in it. pH balanced. And then I make a shampoo bar too. I haven't even given out any of those. Those are made with a higher pH. Or excuse me, a lower pH. Lower pH. More acidic pH. What hard to harvest? Beeswax? No, I think it's you just take when you take the hive out. Oh, you're talking about kitten tears. Kitten tears are hard to harvest. Not around this house. Plentiful. Wes probably got a few too at his house available. Just needs to get a little tiny bowl. Here, a little tiny bowl. I know Wes's cat is spoiled too. If he just comes in, you're not getting wet food today, and then put a bowl under his head. You're not getting wet food today. I'm hungry, man. I've just been, ever since I got rid of the nicotine, dude, I've been just so freaking hungry constantly. My God. I got forward in there so I don't hit my bike. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably right, Roy. I just, I did get rid of the nicotine. I mean, that was the goal. Started with the packs and then went to the gum. You know, obviously I used to smoke years ago and then quit for a number of years, then started using mouth tobacco, like, because I'm country. It's just kind of the way things go. And then I got out away from that and started chewing the gum. It was really, it still continued. I have psychological cravings for it constantly. Uh, so, but you know, I know how to suffer a little bit. I think suffering is good for you sometimes because and anytime you quit something that's not great for you, even if it's for a short amount of time, it benefits you. Learn how to quit, learning how to pull things out of your box. Really important. I don't Pilato. I probably could. I didn't want to just go from chomping on nicotine gum to chomping on some other random gum all the time, uh, because I thought I might kind of lead me back, maybe. Yeah, when you can quit and like turn your back on something that is difficult for you and physical, like nicotine, especially um, like oral forms of nicotine, the the packs and the chewing tobacco is harder to quit than smoking because it doesn't have the same benefits. When you don't feel like when you quit smoking, you can run like a deer, right? Um, you start to taste your food again. Those don't come from quitting chewing tobacco, for example. You may get whiter teeth. That's one benefit, but that's really all you're gonna uh, be like, oh, okay, my teeth are whiter. That's nice. Now, like I can breathe, I can taste stuff, and so there's all these benefits you get when you quit smoking. You don't get when you quit chewing tobacco or mouth tobacco. I started with the loose stuff, and then I migrated to it is expensive. So you know, you're living on a shoestring budget, which is what we're on now. It's just not in the budget, man. You know, I can't be running to the store. That's part of it too. Just doesn't fit in. Um, I forgot what I was saying there a second ago. Oh yeah, I started with the loose stuff, and then to get away from how nasty that stuff was, I moved to the packs, those little packets. You know, the pouches that I thought I would never do. You know, I was like, man, I'll never do that. But no, I moved to the pouches, and then eventually I moved from the pouches to those little nicotine pouches and moved down the milligrams as much as I could till I got down to 2, and then I switched to the gum, and I got down from the 4 milligrams to the 2. I ran out of it, and I told myself I was not going to go buy one. That was what I. Yeah, you know, Diet Dr Pepper is the closest I've ever found soda to the regular, in my opinion. Like Diet Dr Pepper, I could handle. As a kid, I didn't care for anybody's diet sodas. Everybody wanted to drink diet. I didn't care for them. The only one I could really do was Diet Dr Pepper. I think it was also there was like a Diet Cherry Pepsi that I liked too, but that one was kind of similar. Yeah, I know, and I've actually Pilato. You can read this for yourself, but I have heard that when you switch from sugar to aspartame or sucralose, which is what Splenda. I mean, Splenda's in all of the energy drinks now. they put it in there. So if you don't want what do they call it, false sweeteners or artificial sweeteners, don't drink any energy drinks because they're in every single one of them now. They've been adding, even in like ginger ale. If you go get Schweppes, like you'll look at it, they've replaced some sugar with sucralose. It's probably for money because it's 1,000 times sweeter. But sucralose, and there are some what they call it, endocrinologists that think that aspartame and sucralose release insulin and cause people to crave sugar. So yeah, see, this is what I was trying to tell Heather the other day. Wes said I miss rolling my own cigarettes so bad. We were watching somebody, and Heather said, "Is he rolling a joint?" And I said, "Nah, he's just rolling. He's just rolling a cigarette." Like in some places, and some guys are just good at it, man. You know. I don't think Heather had ever seen that before, but I have numerous times. Maybe it's a little bit of a South thing. My friend's mom, when I was little, when money was tight, she rolled her own cigarettes with top papers. So yeah, I know Pilato, and I do like those too. Those ones have like green tea caffeine in them, like natural caffeine. The at least the orange one I think does, the Kirkland version. There's like a natural green tea extract or green coffee caffeine they add to it, which is cool. Yeah, I mean it's kind of just like a fruit. Like my brother would be pretty good at it. I mean, he could roll them in the wind with one hand and stuff. Sailors back in the day used to be able to do that, you know, roll a cigarette with in the wind because they were always it was bouncing and the wind was blowing all the time. And they rolled their own cigarettes. Um, like you all really want to hear that? So sailors on the sea rolled their own cigarettes, sir. You know, like that. Here's a story from Dad today. It's about back in the day, the sailors. A good sailor can roll a cigarette in the blowing wind. Oh, look at that fit, y'all. Look at that fit. Boom. That one fits perfectly. You can build a table like that too, see? This is your table. It's a little table. It's a tiny little table. I did tell y'all the sapwood is cupping. So this pin piece here, this is cherry, and it's hard to tell from this because it's white. It's sapwood. Sapwood cupped, and I don't know if Wes saw that part of the live. So it's cupped, and I'm compensating a little for that here. But yeah, we're almost there with this. Water break. You know, I should do that. Nothing is cooler in a bar than rolling your own cigarette. Hey, check this out, dude. And I'm drunk. If that's what we're talking about. Sometimes I got to guess at what Chad is talking about because I didn't read the whole thing. Oh, let's definitely, we got to cut this here. No. Sad to say, Oktar lost his channel, dear. No, because I saw him on, oh man, I saw him on somebody's chat like 2 days ago. Something woodworks, but it was definitely Oktar for sure. Might have been on yours, Mike, but he lost his channel. Gotta be careful. Got to be very careful, dear. Honey. I have my bandsaw right over there. I could easily cut this out in the bandsaw, but that's not how we do stuff here at Dad's Workshop. Oh, Pilato's in here. I should rip cut this just for Pilato on the other side. I should rip cut it. But I'll cut the shoulder first and I'll come straight down this way. I won't try to mimic that angle. See if we can. This is my rip cut side. Oh, that's not good. I didn't find that angle right. Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. Now I'm fighting with it because I don't want it to go through the line. But I think I kind of got it just barely. Maybe I would get, if this was the forged and fire wood equivalent, I might get in trouble for that. I don't usually rip cut like that, but there you go. Pilato. To see how it wasn't as loud as that Harbor Freight thing? Because I think you had a Harbor Freight one, man. Bless their hearts, Harbor Freight. They can fool a lot of people, but not me. Mike was in the chat yesterday saying that their Ryoba saw. Someone said their Ryoba saw was good. I was like, dang, that's not my experience. That thing was trash from the day I got it. This one I'm using right now is over 10 years old. Why is it cut better than the one brand new from the store? Reels USA? What is that? He just has a number of burners, I think is what it is. Of course, I will give Harbor Freight a chance at redemption, but that saw, man, and I think that's the one you had. Do you see how loud it was when you tried to pull through that piece? It was screaming at you like a saw shouldn't be that. I know it's blunt, and I think I said that in the chat on your video. You know, rip saws are not supposed to be super sharp. They're meant to like bully through the wood and just rip the grain open, you know? But that is just, it's just on another level bad. Like I've had several Ryoba saws, and nothing is even close to as bad as what I experienced from that saw. Like I've had dovetail saws, I've had flush cut Japanese saws. I've had one I think I got from Lowe's when they used to sell them up there. The Harbor Freight one is like it never met. It was not submitted for the approval of anybody. Like they just put it on the shelf before they checked it. That's my opinion. I'll tell anybody straight up, if it's between using one of those to do handwork and using power tools, use power tools. Everybody thinks I'm such a nerd about power tools. Nah, man, if it's between a Harbor Freight Ryoba saw and power tools, use power tools. It'll make you never want to use a hand tool again. No, hand tools are terrible. I got this saw from Harbor Freight and I just couldn't use it, man. I don't know how. That's probably why everybody says pull saws are nonsense, because their experience is one from Harbor Freight. Robert G. Oh, okay. All right, Pilato. Pilato said he got that one from Amazon. Cancel out everything I just said. Going back about 15 minutes. I had a feeling that might be what happened. That's a pretty sounding bird. This side of my bench, there's some work I got to do on it off camera, I think. This is taking a lot of stress. No, that shoulder's ugly. What did I just do that for? Oh, man. Yeah, like, I mean, there is some of that with any kind of ripsaw. Like, look at a two-man ripsaw pit saw from back in the day. Those are really blunt. I think I used this as an example the other day. Those are really blunt and not sharp at all. It's brute force. You're trying to get into the grain vertically. With wood, if you can get into the grain vertically, it doesn't really matter how sharp stuff is. You know, it only needs to be sharp going through the grain sideways. Think about a wedge. You stick a wedge. Is a wedge sharp? A wedge isn't sharp, right? Still do I think that lets you set your teeth on old saws after you file and resharpen them. I didn't catch the beginning of that. This little box project, just a little diversion away from finishing the bed, which is basically finished. There's a couple little things that have to be done. Parts need to be labeled. The ladder has to be glued up. And then some trimming on the post, but really it should be installed this week. That'll be something we probably do a live about, be from a different area while we install the bed. Some of that can be done during install too, I think. Robert G said, be back in a few. Happy to have you back when you come back, when you're ready. Robert G member, valued member. All the valued members, Pilato, Robert G. Mike is making stuff. Carrie, Frasca. I didn't see Mike Osborne today. Norm Hughes. Of course, Wes does it. And I mentioned Pilato's creations. Yeah. So thank you to everybody. Thank you all my members. This is a members only chat. Here's your call to action. If you're not a member and you would like to be, you want to be part of this great round table of creators, this great thing we call Dad's Workshop, where we are pushing the limits of conventional lumber. I like that. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna stick with that. Pushing the limits of conventional lumber, and you want to join this movement here that's growing. I'm gonna be like MrBeast and predict that I'm gonna be. I want 1 million subscribers in 10 years. Make it happen. Boom. Let's make it happen, just like he did 10 years ago. I think today. Looking like a little bit nerdy in his room. He said, "I'm going to be rich in 10 years," and he did it. Just finished the Beast Games. It was probably the best game show I ever watched. Not gonna lie, I never really watched this channel. And I'll tell you, the Beast Games was pretty crazy, dude. Savage too. He paid people to betray people on the show, and like gave them hundreds of thousands of dollars basically to sell out their teammates. Crazy stuff. MrBeast, he does like, I don't know what he did to start out, but he started by challenging people to do stuff like go out in the wild and I'll pay you this much money if you can survive, in the woods here in this tent for this amount of time. Just a random thing. Oh, well, of course, when you're running a game show, the people are there to profit, and it is a game. It's not supposed to be friendly, so I don't blame Beast. It's like Survivor or any of those other shows. Uh, he's just his was just more advanced, I think, than those. To be honest, there's a lot more treachery next season. If he does it again, I think you'll see the strategy evolve even more. This one looks like it fits, but this one over here has to be worked a bit. I know people took it real personal this season. I think, as you notice with like Survivor, if you've ever, anyone in the chat's ever watched Survivor or The Amazing Race or something like that, the strategy and treachery are normal by the second season, and people develop alliances and socially outgame people. There's a social factor to it. You got to convince people to trust you. And in this game, he's trying to develop that. But in the first season, people looked at it from a moral, way too much of a moral dimension. And it's a game. You have to go in there ready to play the game. He won a bunch of world records, most money given away on a game show, all that stuff. I don't know, Pilato. You might find you were pretty good at those games. Some of it is math and a game theory. Game theory, Pilato? It's just math, really. Logic. What's your approach? What's the opponent going to do if I do this? What could the possible reactions be? And how could those benefit me or harm my game going forward? Right? We're not talking about morals in the world. We're not talking about what you do outside the game. It's a game. Good people play games and get competitive. That's okay. It's okay to be competitive. Outside the game, if you're still treacherous, then it is a problem. Yes. Oh, so Pilato says he is familiar with maths. So yes, the math I'm referring to would be game theory and the different, like in this particular case, what Beast did in most of these setups was some sort of variation of the prisoner's dilemma. If you know what the prisoner's dilemma is, if you're familiar with that, it was he used a lot of prisoner dilemma to kind of throw people and get people to turn against each other. Are those people going to act in such a way? In the beginning, there were 1,000 people there, and he offered anyone in the row $10,000 to sell everybody else in their row out. They get to stay in the game. All they have to do is sell the rest of their row out. The rest of their row is eliminated from the game, and then the money just went up, right? So you had to have a row that everybody was on the same page, and so there was some luck factor there. No, definitely, if y'all haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Beast Games on Amazon. Oh, there you go, Pilato. Take it the opposite way. Super kind in the game, super treacherous outside the game. There was a girl on there at one point that told everybody that she was ready to self-sacrifice because she knew that the next challenge might be everybody on the team voting one person to go. And so she said, I'm ready to self-sacrifice, y'all. And everybody voted her onto the helicopter because she said that. So it's some of it is finesse, how you can finesse, and how well you can socialize with people. You never know. This guy convinced everybody on the show that he needed money for his son's medical thing, for the whole thing. And then they had this thing where a beast, Jimmy, put $1 million in a glass case, and he put them in an order. There was 10 contestants left, and he said, "You can come out. I'm gonna put you in this order. You can come out and take as much of this $1 million as you want. Just know that when it gets to the 10th person, all they're gonna have left is what's left by the previous 9." So the guy who I told you, who was so nice and everybody liked him and convinced everyone that he was trying to do something for his kid, he went out there and he took $600,000 out of that million when everybody had agreed to take 100,000. So if they all took 100,000, everybody had 100K, and they all kept going in the game. But this guy came out and took 600,000. Another guy took 200,000. So the rest of the 8 contestants were left with that 200,000 to split amongst each other. And so you start to see how people can be shifty, and you got to be careful. And they figured it out. Beast said that no one would know what you took, but by deduction, the other contestants can figure it out. They can figure it out. Of course, he was eliminated in the next round. Oh, like Fear Factor? Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to stomach that stuff. They just took that a little bit too far, I think, sometimes. The show got canceled. I don't know if I should say this on a live stream, but the show was actually, Fear Factor was actually eventually canceled because they tried to get the contestants to drink horse semen in jugs. And that was just something that the censors of the FCC was not willing to let them put on TV. Like, we're not going to let you put that on TV. You want to show contestants drinking horse semen in buckets. Like, gross. Come on, man. Like, just like, have a limit. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Pilato asked, did he get to keep the 500K? Yeah, it's actually like 580, closer to 6. He said, that's what I wanted. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he kept it, man. It was in his room. There's a whole bunch of video footage of him sitting in his room looking all sad and feeling guilty with this stack of money on the floor. Yeah. So yeah, he got it. They got to keep all of those people that did that got to keep. Now the last guy only got 12K. That was how much the last dude, the number 10 person, got. Something like that. It was something between 12 and 20K. It was very small. Obviously, they were not. They expected to come out there and get $100,000 because they had all agreed that they were going to all take 100. Makes the game interesting. So I got to give it up to Jimmy, man. 10 years ago, he was talking about monetizing. Now he's got what I consider the best game show I've ever watched, without a question. There's nothing even close to it. Now, this season was a little bit simple. I think next season you're going to see people take the game and strategize a level further. That one's good. It's this one here. Y'all can see I'm getting close here. It's this one right here. I got to just size that a little bit down, I think. Probably would be the same way around if I put it over here. Nah, look at that, y'all. Boop, 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 boop. So satisfying. Please don't break. Here, let me do this. I'm going to file these joints a little bit. I'm just going to file them a little so it's a little less chance that it'll blow something out. Man, it smells like blueberry muffins. Who in this neighborhood is trying to torture me with the smell of blueberry muffins? Pilato, stop cooking blueberry muffins and wafting the scent over, man. That's still a little tight. What a trick you can do is when you do that, look for the crush spots on your pins, and that's where you got to take a little material off. So the male part here going to be called pins, right? This is going to be a pin, and even if there's two, it's still a pin, right? And then the part that accepts that the female part here, we call those tails. Generally, it's the other way around. I believe the long piece should be the tail and the short piece should be the pin, and that was a mistake I made early on and couldn't really reverse, so I just went ahead and go. It's a small enough box, it shouldn't matter. Yeah, there's one side here that's protruding a little bit here. All right, let's give her a shot. I think we did this side over here. No, other way around. That side there. That side. Oh yeah, that's much better. Don't snap. Little bitty box. If smoke was in here, I would say box. Or I'll say it anyway. No, I did not fell this cherry tree. These were dimensional 1x3s that I had from a cherry tree. I do have a cherry slab though, over here, and I felt this Caesar tree. That's what I was worried about. Yeah, no, we're all right. Yeah, so that cedar tree over there that you see those logs from, I did fell that cedar tree, and I made tables out of it. That is a cherry slab right there, unrelated to that. There's actually two cherry slabs there that I plan on using. That one's gonna be really nice, I think. But I did not fell this particular cherry tree. We are done with the box, so we're gonna say goodbye for now. Love y'all, and I really appreciate my members, Pilato and Wes and Carrie and Norm, and Dan came in. Robert G. Mike is making stuff. All these channels you should check out. Pilato, Mike is making stuff. Norm just put some shorts out. Wes does it. Everybody in here, appreciate you. Appreciate all my members. Love y'all. We're finished with the box. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to fit this in there. All right. and then put a little bit of a top on there. But yeah, it's a single dovetail box, crudely done by hand with some imperfections. Maybe the shoulder could come back a little bit, but you know, cherry 1x3, little basic box. We haven't done anything small in a while. So thank y'all. Appreciate you. See you later. Do the next